Hi, everybody. I decided that I'm going to do this is bothering me because it's off center. A bit of an energy check-in today and see how the collective is doing. It's 3/23/26, and tomorrow is Tarot Tuesday, but also the Kick the Shit challenge starts tomorrow. So it's the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. So if you haven't signed up for that, I highly recommend you do it. Now is the perfect time to plant seeds. Hello. I forgot to click live on TikTok. Hi, how are you all doing? How's your vibe today? Let me go live on TikTok. Right, quick. Where are you tuning in from? I want to know where everybody is tuning in from. I'm super excited to be here. Today's a really important day because it's Portal Day, but also if you're part of the collective that has been feeling a little bit like not unwell, but some changes have been happening in your life, know that you are so astrologically aligned right now. Good, thanks. And you? I'm doing really well. I'm super happy to be here. I've been busy. Banana is working super late, making sure everybody has what they need. Hi, how are you? Where are you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from? TikTok, always high vibe from Albuquerque. Love it. Missouri, Arizona. Hi, Z, Delaware. Hi, King Grizzly. What's up? How many of you have been feeling the energetic shifts the last couple of weeks? What about you, TikTok? Has anybody been feeling this strong energy that's been happening in people's lives? There's been a lot of cleansing, a lot of clearing, but also a lot of movement forward. More like the last whole year. Yeah, that's totally fair. Um, ne as in no, or ne as in huh? um, this spring season is very important. We just welcomed in the spring equinox, right? So that was a perfect time for you to do your quantum jumping and become the highest version of yourself. Nah, as in not. Okay, you haven't been feeling the shifts, is what you're saying. So I'm understanding. The chats move at different paces, and sometimes I don't remember what I said. So this was the perfect time to do your quantum jumping for this spring equinox and really set yourself up for success literally the rest of the year. And if you're just tuning in, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, tomorrow, the 24th, the 25th, and 26th, I'm actually hosting a free 3-day workshop. So if you haven't signed up for that, it's called the 3-day Kick the Shit to Happiness Challenge. I highly recommend you do it. We're going to be doing some cognitive reframing as a community. And for anybody who's new to how I do coaching, how I interact with community, I like it super personal. So if you show up, I do want to meet you. I do want to speak to you. I do want to get to know what's going on in your life. So expect to be on camera, expect to be speaking or chatting, because I love that part. So if you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the description. If you're on TikTok, it's going to be on my profile. But I also wanted to ensure that everybody had a safe space for this spring to be able to manifest the life that they are wanting to bring in, and ascending your energy, staying high vibe, staying happy, making sure you have a community, making sure that you are being ethical in the world right now is going to make a much larger impact. And since astrologically we have so much going on with Mercury actually finally going into direct instead of being in retrograde, now is a perfect time for you to really push your manifestations out there in a completely new way. Take really large, bold risks. And I know that sometimes when we are doing those larger manifestations, or we're creating new wealth or putting our business out there, it can feel a little bit daunting at first. If you're really putting out risk right now, you will get the rewards this year. So do not play small. That's the whole point of this 3-day workshop, right? That's why I call it the Kick the Shit, because we want to release anything that is low frequency. And sometimes doing the work means you're able to recognize things that you didn't know were there. So again, I highly recommend you join it. Who is signed up already for the workshop? Let me know in the chat. Me, I've been feeling the shift, and truth and justice is coming out beautiful. Truth and justice as in your own path or with other people. Intention is everything for the shifts. Yeah, make sure you are doing your scripting. I've also had lots of clients with visits from Papa Legba and other Loa and ancestors and deities. So if you're getting lots of visits, just make sure you stay on top of your ancestor work and your altars, your candle workings. Um, what are you saying what to? The veil is very, very thin, so you're going to easily get assistance, but you also will be getting a lot of instruction. So hunker down on things that you haven't been doing. Like if you've been slacking on cleaning your altars, doing your offerings, going to the crossroads, working with your keys, that sort of stuff. Spiritual baths, elemental baths, your meditations, your exercises, do not slack on it. I am actually going to make a video, and let me know in the chat if it's going to be helpful for um, um, everybody. Not a visit from Papa Legba. I love Papa Legba. Papa Legba, I feel like, is like my grandpa. That's how I see him. Do you not work with Papa Legba? You said that my light started flickering. LOL. Yes, Papa Legba is everywhere. I love it. I was talking to someone today. It's all Mondays are also a good day to give offerings to Papa Legba and say thank you, because they are always around. And right now, because there's a lot of portals and gateways and things opening, obviously Papa Legba. So no, not really. Okay, I'm mixed. I mix. I have a very different practice with Papa Legba. I heart Papa Legba, but my teachers and guidance and the way he has shown up in my life has not. I mean, in the beginning, it was quite rough with a lot of the body possessions and surprising me and like making me pass out. Like we got past that part, but I did want to mention it because he has been around me, has been visiting, and I've been getting lots of people. So if anybody here does work with Papa Legba, that's your reminder to make sure you're doing your offerings. My ancestors proved me the veil has been thin for quite some time. Yeah, the more you work with your ancestors, the stronger your connection is going to be, anyways. And for tonight, I am open to spiritual questions as well. And don't forget to like the live too if you are tuning in. So more folks, it can rotate to more folks. So if there's anything that you've been wanting to know astrologically, or just like um, uh, your spiritual practices, or if you're having any spiritual illnesses, like anything you want to know meditation wise. Oh, I also just dropped, for anybody who's new here, if you check in the description or on my link tree, you can see Meditate with Z on Insight Timer. I just dropped a new astral protection meditation for folks who travel in their sleep so that you can stay grounded right now if you're doing a lot of jumping. Dreams have been quite wild. A lot of people are getting lessons in dreams, or folks just visiting, energies coming towards you, right? If you're a seer, you're going to be seeing a lot of them in your dreams, or your brain trying to process. So if you need some stability, go listen to that meditation so you can ground in and stay rooted. To be fair, I heard he's a very serious entity. Oh, he's very serious. All of the low, all energies in my book are very serious. I have a different approach to working with them because like I'm very mixed, and so I have a blend of a little traditional, a little bit of brujeria, and like just santeria, and like all kind of merged together. So I'm not as like, I don't approach it the same way as some people who are quite traditional, but I still hold the respect. And so I know that the work that is required to work with a Loa, or when a Loa approaches you, it is very serious. And they're there for a reason. And so if that journey begins for anybody, then it is time for you to fully lean in and do what you need to do, and not be disrespectful. Like I always tell people, if you're going to request anything from the spiritual realm, you better be prepared to follow through on your practices. I'm a big dreamer, and I've been trying to astral project, but I've been struggling. Definitely check out my meditation on Insight Timer. It's going to be in my link tree, and see if it will help. When you say struggle, are you having trouble leaving your body? Is that what's happening? I've only done it once. Okay. Yeah, it gets easier with time and practice, but making sure you feel anchored. And if you have any sort of fear that may be coming up, around astral travel, or even with your inner child, or like not knowing where to go. A lot of times when I teach people how to astral travel in the Divine Academy, because I do teach weekly, we do a lot of third eye work. We do also a lot of mirror work and dream protection. So then we're curating the space and getting your energy used to leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back. So then when you do go to sleep and you do want to travel, you know how to do it. Because sometimes some people just leave their body, which we don't always want to happen. And then some people have a little bit of trouble like making the leap. And so there's other foundational things that you can do to lead up to that. And also trying to lucid dream more. And I literally dream every night. Beautiful. Yeah, lucid dreaming is amazing. I love lucid dreaming. I do it a lot. And I also teach people like how to sit outside of their dreams, because you like once you can learn how to lucid dream, you can decide which dreams you want to go into, or decide what conversations you want to have with certain energies. So then you're not just subjected to the dream and the energy or guides or ancestors that are coming in to speak with you. So when I go into my dream's like what like choose your own adventure. It gives you a bit more freedom. Let's see. Hi, Nia. I'm great. Yeah, Eric, go for it. Ask your question. Let me catch up. The souvenir Dubai building light thing came on this morning for no reason. I just smiled, and right when I typed this, something just fell. Perfect. Everybody's got spirits and ancestors just all around right now. So again, just a reminder, even if it's not Papa Like Ben, it's your ancestors. They are present. Do not forget about them. How many of you have been like really focusing on your spiritual work right now? And be honest. Howdy from San Francisco. Hey, San Fran. I love San Francisco. I lived there for a little bit with my sister when she went to medical school there. I just stayed in her place because I wanted to. I have astral traveled before, but I don't remember where or what I did. Is there any way to remember the journey? Yeah, with practice. If you have a strong journaling practice, like when you wake up right after your dream, keeping a book next to you, that will allow you to naturally recall over time. Even if you wake up and you don't write a lot, even if you were to doodle, or if you feel and sense your emotions, right? Because you need to be able to like recall. So keeping something by your bed, it may take a couple months depending on how readily available you feel or open you feel to recalling. Because sometimes, depending on what you dreamed about and depending on what you're learning, you don't always want to remember, like subconsciously. And then we have to work through that as well. But having the journal will help you recall a lot quicker. Does exploding head syndrome on early stage an early stage of astral travel, like the sensation of the pressure, you mean? The pressure you were feeling? Um, there's lots of things that can feel like exploding head in my so it doesn't have to be with astral travel, no. It can be a buildup of energy. It can be how you are receiving information. Noise. Okay. It can be how you are receiving information through your crown. It can be like an overactive channel that needs to be tuned in. And it can also just be like any other physical elements as well mixing in. If you are sensing some energy right now with the astrological events and quantum jumping, sometimes your head will get quite intense because you are leaping as well. So it can be a few different things, but we would need to like go through your entire process and like your spiritual practices. So it could be, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's for astral travel. I just started back connect, and I find more and more ancestors and guides reaching out. So now I'm scripting and doodling. Perfect. I know I feel like there's so many trying to reach out. Yeah, the scripting and journaling is perfect. You keep it also as like your ancestor book or some sort of grim, depending on verbiage, and whatever you want to call it, a sacred book. book of knowledge, so that you can get used to recognizing their energy. If at any time they feel overwhelming, you can do some sort of soul contract. Anybody who's in Z School for the Gifted or the Academy, some of them are here. I taught them all about soul contract because once one or a couple ancestors learn that you are quite gifted, they will continue to reach out to you and you become a beacon on the other side. So it's like telephone, and then all of them start to come. And sometimes it can be overwhelming when the veil is a lot thinner during certain times. And so having that soul contract where you are differentiating between which ancestors can step forward during which time is going to make your channeling a lot stronger, because some ancestors are just there to hang out. Some ancestors are there to help you. Some ancestors are there to make peace with you if they cause trauma in the earthly realm. And some ancestors are just curious, right? And then there's people, ancestors on the other side, who actually want to teach you and help you with this phase of your life. So having really good communication around, like, with your ancestors of like, okay, I'm on this path of opening up certain gifts. Can the ancestors who have had this gift or know what they're doing come protect me and help me, right? And then the rest of the ancestors need to step back for a moment so you can have clarity around who is there, because if they're just sitting in your energy is going to feel quite dense sometimes, and it doesn't mean that they can do that. So you have to have boundaries with your ancestors as well. And as I mentioned, like when Papa Legba started to come around, a lot of my mediumship started to change quite intensely. And so whenever ancestors would try and come through my meditation, I was passing out for long periods of time, which I've shared before. And so I learned to be able to speak to them quite easily so I can move them out of the way. Because when people would do readings for me, they're like, why do you have so much energy? And I'm like, because they're just they're everywhere, right? Some people just have that type of connection with their ancestors. I'm marked by the spiritual realm to be able to speak to many of them so I can help people. And so you have to learn that channel of communication. I'm back on it. I was slacking and I started journaling again. It helped get back in step. Good. What distracted you from your spiritual practices? You know how much I love generational healing. So what stopped you? What stopped you? Don't get distracted. Okay, so I'm on the right path. I made that no every time I connect. Oh, known every time. Perfect. Well, worth knowing how to communicate with him. I definitely needed that before joining her school. Yeah, now I'm good. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, anybody who's interested, you're welcome to join the Divine Academy right now. It's monthly subscription, and I teach 3 times a week: Monday, Magic to Market; Wednesday, Z School for the Gifted; and Fridays, The Art of Love and Magnetism. And if you're in the House of Bougie Savage, you also get a little bit of a discount for springtime. So that is available to you as well. Hi, everybody on TikTok. How's it going? How's your vibe? I'm not just Mississippi. I am thanking you. Oh, so sweet. How is the weather in Mississippi? Does anybody have other spiritual questions as well? And I do want to share again, the Kick the Shit Challenge starts tomorrow, so make sure that you are signed up. It's a 3-day workshop to help you sit in your energy of happiness and joy and love as we welcome in spring, right? It's a new year for many cultures. I know. I know your handle. I know your handle, Shantae. How are you? Checking in with everybody. And the insight timer meditation for folks who are just joining, it just dropped literally like a couple days ago, so it's readily available for you to go listen. There's also stuff on clairaudience on there, affirmations for you to lighten your frequency every day. I'm big on thank you. Hi, how's it going? I'm feeling positive. Mercury is finally direct and brain is back. Yeah. Mercury in retrograde. Was anybody feeling that retrograde? Like, it was like literally reversing through mud a little bit. Did anybody feel that way? Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. Like this retrograde was like, it was like, hold up. Like, it was such a like, halt. Like sometimes I feel like with Mercury retrograde, it's like, okay, this energy is weird, tech is being weird, but it was like, no, we're just gonna slam on the brakes. You're gonna like fly out the freaking door or something. And now you just have to figure out how to get your car going now that it's in the sinkhole. Yes, I feel like myself again. And then the minute it went direct, it was like, you could take a deep breath all over again. It was such a magical energy. And I know some folks were also getting a little bit sick. Yeah, I feel like myself again too. Do people who are here, do you have practices that you do when Mercury's in retrograde or when you feel like you're doing your quantum jumping and things like that? I do want to share some around like spiritual sicknesses and what to do, how to take care of your energetic body. A lot of people try to tend to their energetic body the same way their physical body would need to be tended to, and sometimes that's just not the case. And even with spiritual sickness doesn't mean you're actually sick, it just kind of feels that way. Getting caught up with the holidays and karmic family ties. Mercury retrograde had me through the window, but I landed on my feet. Amazing. Yeah, I definitely saw some people as well, some folks I work with, and it happens to everybody. It's like the best thing you can ask yourself once Mercury goes direct is like, what did I learn? Right? So for anybody who felt the energy, what did you learn from this Mercury retrograde about yourself? Right? We always want to ask what we learned and what the universe was pointing out to us so that we don't repeat this cycle again, because it brought up everything that you needed to know and where you've been slipping. No, this is a new experience for me. New experience as in spirituality in general. I've been listening to the Neville Goddard teachings. It's very interesting. Yeah, Neville Goddard has some interesting stuff. Um, I tried to ground more and slow down physically. Needed a lot of support from herbs and crystals. Yeah, beautiful, because you are also a seer and your gift of possession is quite strong. So I'm glad that you came in with your herbal support. Your ancestors are quite strong, so that makes a lot of sense. Yes, spirituality in general. Wonderful. Is anybody else new to spirituality or just like beginning their journey? Take things slow and listen to my intuition. Yeah, taking things slow is very important. There's always a balance too, because for people who are manifesting new careers and things like that, because of March being a fast manifestation month, you have to have a balance of what slow looks like, right? Because sometimes when you hit the retrograde and you hit all these changes and the universe is trying to get you to heal, it doesn't necessarily mean that you come off the gas when it comes to taking action towards your dreams. It means that you need to be even more grounded in your intuition, which means like stepping more deeply into your meditation. And where I see sometimes people get caught up is when they feel that energy, they try and clear everything out of the way. But sometimes that's not the case, because then you end up missing the portals. And the only reason why the denser frequency feels a little bit heavier is because it's a mirror of you. So you need to like more quickly remove the lower densities so you can get back to the higher energy and manifest a lot quicker. Um, yeah, so it's always a balance, and it also depends on what your tendency is. Like if you're someone who tends to bulldoze through life, you should definitely try and slow down. But if you're someone who's in the past had trouble taking action or manifesting, or if you're realizing that your manifestations are not here, then you have to be real with yourself and use the retrograde to clear out why your manifestation is not there, so you can continue to manifest. So you're still taking action, but it looks a little bit different. Um, I'm in the beginning stage. Okay, I've learned more about myself. What did you learn about yourself? I'm curious. As far as my intuition, I need to work on it. Yeah. Practicing your intuition is, I feel like it just gets better and better with time, but it all like comes full circle when you really do your generational healing, because your intuition and your spiritual gifts, as folks in the Divine Academy know, because I always teach spirituality comes hand in hand with your emotional healing. So, unless you are doing your emotional healing, fully unleashing the power of your intuition becomes quite challenging. And a lot of spiritual teachers or manifestation teachers will just guide you down the road of just positive thinking, of just speaking things into existence, of just, it's like, yes, you can do that. But if you somewhere down the road don't realize how traumatized you are about holding money, how is your money going to get to you? Right? Like it's kind of like we have to do A plus B, but because of colonization and practices being stripped away, our connection to Mother Earth and who we are and our healing and our emotions has to be re-implemented into everybody's life, because everybody is living in a system that is meant to remove you from that aspect of yourself. So you have to do the healing consistently so your intuition gets stronger and stronger. So then your trust gets stronger and stronger. And when you trust, your intuition just guides you like a map. You don't even have to try at some point. Like someone had asked, like Z, are you like channeling all the time? I am just one channel. There is only one channel. There's no gap between like my intuition and my decision making. They are one now. So the only way I communicate is through my intuition. That's the only way I connect with my ancestors, and so on and so on. Makes sense. Yeah, it's quite a cool journey, like once you get to that state, because then your mind is fully out of the way, and you get to see the potential of what your gifts can do and how your ancestors and your guides can truly come in and guide you. And then you feel quite unstoppable. You feel quite unstoppable because the world as you know it is very different. But where there can be a little bit of shadow work, which I find in some spiritual spaces that are not bringing the intersectionality of cultural heritage to spirituality, is if your ego is not in check and you haven't done your healing, you become quite like an ass face. Like literally. I don't know if anybody's come across some people like that. I'm literally going to phrase it like that because you come across some people who are so unrooted from reality that they don't understand their impact on other people, right? So they're like, oh, I don't believe in poor people because they don't exist, right? And it becomes quite toxic. And so doing your healing and realizing that you are a part of a community and being ethical, which is is supposed to happen with your spiritual practices, allows everybody to stay rooted in taking care of each other, right? And giving back. And that's why I also talk about light workers. Like, if you believe that you have a mission as a spiritual light worker, as a healer in this world, then it is a necessity for you to continue to do your work, so that your intuition does become stronger. But then you share it with other people so they can help themselves, right? We're not we're not meant to be so individualistic all the time, if that is making sense. But does anybody else have a question about any of your spiritual practices or altar work or anything like that? Oh, and I do want to mention, because I haven't been live and talked about it, but I will also be live tomorrow for Tarot Tuesday. So if you need Tarot 10 and live readings, I will be live tomorrow. That message was directly for me. In what sense, Shantae? The last chapter of the Mango Man and Other Manifestations just dropped. So enjoy it while it's free. Do you think practicing Reiki is a good step to start with? It depends on the person. I would need to get to know you. So why do you want to start Reiki, and what are you trying to achieve in your spiritual practice in general? Yes, I want to ask about throwing cowrie shells for divination. Like reading them. If you feel called to it, you should try it. Your ancestors are quite earthy, quite absolutely do it. But yeah, there's something else I was going to add, and now my thought is gone. Oh, I want to start working with energy. Yeah. Reiki is great. A lot of people are called to Reiki. There's lots of different types of Reiki. So I recommend you do your research and see which one best fits you. I'm also really big on Jiaorui, which is a little bit different than Reiki because Reiki can sometimes be a two-way flow. Um, and Jiaorui is more of a one-way flow, but it's really, really powerful. So I learned Reiki and I learned some Jiaorui and I also learned bioenergy healing. So it is a great place to start if you want to work on yourself, but also just learning about energy and having your somatic practices um, is a great way to move your own energy. Because, like, if you're wanting to just for the sake like move energy, you can do that without Reiki. But if your soul feels called to learn it, then definitely go learn it. If that's something you want to do. Message was to start sharing my intuition with others. I feel like know it all sometimes. No, well, I mean, you have a very strong mission in terms of helping people. And so, what's great about light workers is that we all come in different shapes and sizes and forms. And so, even if you are a personal stylist, you are still a messenger. You are still a messenger. You're still going to be there to help people heal. And so, your intuition is meant to be shared, it's not just for you. Um, and that is something that's so important. That's why I teach about the ethics of spirituality and making an impact. Because I know that even when I'm doing this, or if I'm just doing tarot readings, or if I'm helping someone get into shape, or if I'm doing a house cleansing, or like, it doesn't necessarily have to be fully related to spirituality. And it doesn't mean that my spiritual gifts are not meant to be there, right? Like that's how we still make an impact because like God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is still going to work through us in many cases. There's been times when spirit's like, can you just go to the store? I'm like, yeah, I'll go to like Nordstrom or whatever, and then I'll just deliver a message while someone's giving me a bra fitting, right? Like our intuition and our gifts are not just meant for us. And when we start to lean into our mission and helping people, where we go matters. So you have to really get used to that because it's quite easy to feel like, oh, I'm a know-it-all and all those things. And I used to feel quite self-conscious about it too. And so what I did was I wasn't lending information right away. If I could sense something, maybe I would mention it if it was like a stranger. But if it came to like friends and community, I would give information when they would request it, or I would directly ask so that there was a sense of permission. Because sometimes people are very resistant, especially for someone like you who's a very strong seer. You're going to have very strong energy and people are going to pick up on it. And sometimes they can feel quite threatened by that. So if you sit in your like humble energy and if they want the information, they can ask you. Um, Hi, Jamila. So I notice when I'm sitting and channeling, I need some type of water and plants, even when I'm doing Reiki. And I feel like I need to do herbal things as well. I'm trying to get a grasp on it all. I mean, that's normal. You are connecting to elements around you. And water is quite strong. It's a door to the other side. Plants alchemize and hold different frequencies, but they're also quite powerful depending on what plant you have. When I did a lot of spiritual work, I had many plants that were made for protection. I had many plants that were meant for cleansing, and I had certain plants that were made for divination in the space when I would do a lot of healing. Because when you're channeling that much energy, sometimes you need assistance from the earth, right? You need to be able to open the portal. It's why we also put water on our altars so that we can commune and venerate a lot easier. And the water element is also quite cleansing. So it's perfectly natural to feel into those spaces. And usually, if you go into someone's Reiki office, like you will see they have lots of things in there. They have lots of things because those are their tools. Those are their, in a sense, like their spiritual helpers. to be there to guide them, to alchemize. It's why you see people put stuff under their table, or use literal crystals and things on people's body while they're doing Reiki. Um, this resonates. So that makes a lot of sense. Just follow your intuition. You can even place them in certain areas in your room to help guide energy, cleanse energy, protect, as well, and tend to your plants. Speak to them, say thank you, because they are working. They are working. um, yeah, people hate when you just acknowledge their true self. They prefer you address the mask. I mean, that's kind of a harsh statement, but yeah, sometimes. I wouldn't say hate. I would say that they are quite triggered. And they may not even know that they have a mask. So it's a lot easier and safer for everybody involved, right? Because as light workers, we don't want to see things as black and white. We understand that everybody in this world is a consequence of their surrounding, and a consequence of an oppressive system. It doesn't mean that they're not responsible for their own actions, but it means if you are truly there to heal, we protect ourselves and we protect them as well. So if they get agitated, it has nothing to do with us. It just is what it is, and we don't have to worry about how they are presenting or anything like that. We just know that if they want the information, they can come ask for it. And you'll usually see, like, if you hold a different energy and you withdraw a little bit, it doesn't mean you be cold, because you are still a messenger. They will likely come and ask you. And it's always the funniest thing, because with time, they know that you're the one who holds the knowledge. They already know that. And so they'll be like, "Can you tell?" They get really like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah," because they don't know how to do it. And so when you sit in conversation with them and you stop lending advice, and you're just like, interesting, what are you going to do about that? And they don't have the answers, they have to seek the answers. So that is another way to, like, assist someone. And as you say, King Grizzly, like, if they do have that mask on, which, I don't always prefer to use that unless I'm saying, like, I'm unmasking because of neurodivergence. It's trauma. Like, this is trauma, because I want us to get used to saying what is there. um it is who they are in this stage. So we will meet that in many people until they feel safe enough to be whoever they are at their core. And that's okay, right? We meet them where they are as light workers. um it's better to ask first. I learned that the hard way for yes. Yeah, nobody should be speaking to anybody without really giving permission. It's quite toxic to do that, right? I'm glad you learned that. But we're used to it culturally, of just oversharing. And sometimes when you're very spiritually gifted, you get excited and you want to share with people, but we have to understand the impact of that as well. And remembering that some people don't want to hear from you. And, like, that's the truth. And so everybody here and everybody out in the world needs to understand that not everybody wants to hear from you, not everybody wants to know your knowledge, not everybody is ready for it. And, like, I don't want you to just hone in on not everybody's ready to hear the truth. That is such a cop out. Don't even start with me today. I'm saying, like, not everybody wants to hear from you because they don't want to. Right? So, like, it means nothing on you. It just means, like, be more respectful of how people prefer to be spoken to. Ask for permission. If someone's like saying something, and you know that you may have the knowledge, and it's you say, "Is it all right if I share something with you? I may have a thought that might be of assistance." Give them the choice, right? Because we all know in this system, in this in this world, choice is being taken away a lot. So give somebody safety, so that way you can have the conversation and make an impact. Yes, respecting boundaries is so important. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is like, it's just everybody communicates differently, but everything can be avoided when you just ask for permission. Um, Hello, I've had a completely different experience. With what? Completely different experience. I needed a relationship when I realized I was going to have to pretend until they were ready to be themselves. Shortest situation ever. Yeah. Sometimes you can't, you don't need to be there when someone's going through their growth, and that's fine too. The app shut out before I could finish typing. Were someone telling you to shh a little bit? I'm just kidding. What happened? Was it a spirit, King Grizzly? Um okay. I've been doing that since a child. Wait, asking for permission, you mean? See, I said something like that above. I let people be people. Ah, okay. Yeah, sometimes. Um, Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Yeah, let people. It's beautiful, right? Like letting people be whoever they want to be. In the topic you are talking about, in my case, I was sent to deliver a message. Yeah, you can be a messenger in that way too. And it doesn't mean that, like, we still, even as messengers, because I'm a messenger as well, I all day. That's what I do, even on the streets. That's why I travel. That's why I'm abroad. When we are sent to deliver messages, we still need to ask for permission and just say, like, I have a message for you. Is it all right if I share it with you? And then they're like, a message about what? Oh, well, this message, right? Because we still need to ask for permission, just ethically, and to not cause any harm psychologically to people, because there's a lot of harm in the world. And so we can, as messengers and light healers and people who help the world, mitigate that. Thank you for sharing. You just farted. We appreciate it. I hope your belly feels so much better. Hope you are releasing whatever you need to, saying goodbye to that toxicity. Um, oh, okay. No seeing through people's masks since you were 4 or 5. Yeah. I mean, you're very gifted, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Flatulence is natural. I was the same way. Many kids can see through many things. You just have to remember it as you get older. Yeah, because adults are going to be uncomfortable. Um, Adults are going to be uncomfortable because they've had to navigate a lot more up until that point than a child, right? So children are going to be very honest. Adults are conditioned many times to, like, assimilate, especially if you are someone who is intersectional and you are a person of color, right? Because there's many places and many lives and many things that people have to go through that requires them to also assimilate, and to have a tiny child read you your rights and read every aspect of you is like, if they're not ready for it, right? It just is what it is. I mean, you can't be mad at children. Children are like that because children don't have the same ego and conditioning as an adult does. And that's just is what it is, right? Kids have no filter either. Yeah, I freaking love kids. I don't know if anybody was listening to the podcast that I do with my friend, Black Girl Magic Meets White Girl Questions, but we were talking about, because she is a neuro affirming um, like consultant. She goes around to schools and she speaks on teaching parents and like their community and folks on how to help kids who are neurodivergent. And so many of the kids are quite direct. And she had said that one of them had called them out for using Black vernacular. And so it was just a whole amazing thing. And I'm like, I love children. One, we should never rely on children to correct us about something like that. But two, I love that children are direct. Like, they're such a gift. They're such a gift. And some people just are not prepared for it. And that's even more reason now, like, again, as messengers, like, we need to be asking for permission because we never know how it's going to impact someone. Children do whatever they want. Do whatever they want. But our jobs as healers is to ensure that the message is safely there, right? It safely lands without any negative impact. And so it's our job to be highly emotionally intelligent. which requires us to also understand crucial conversation, self-advocacy, understanding what can happen when you share that message, and understanding what can happen to that person's life when they take that message, right? So there's a lot of discernment that needs to happen, but you need to do your generational healing before you go blabbering messages to people. So that way the healing that is meant to be shared actually does its job. Natural and funny. Yes. I mean, it is quite funny that we do need to have flatulence. It is quite funny. Yes, I agree. I'm all for it. I'm such an open person. Like, I don't, if you want to talk about farts, if you have questions about farts, if anybody has questions about their health, you're welcome to ask me. It is a weird aspect of the human body. I learned in my 20s not to do that. Yeah. I mean, you learn quite early on. And then sometimes it's harder too, depending on where you fall on the spectrum, or you know, how you were raised. Yeah, I used to be afraid to deliver messages, but my mom told me if I got the message, I had to deliver. So learned first, because folks don't always like someone just knowing them. Yeah, it's personal. It's absolutely personal. But most of the time, if the message comes, like, you're likely going to be someone who can deliver the message, and it's up to us to be able to do it safely, right? And um, if you were to fully step into the shoes of that person, or the person on the other side who has a message for this person, like, how would you want to receive the message? Would you want someone to just like lay it on you? Sometimes, depending on what it is, maybe you are that type of person and maybe you're not. Like, if someone meets you on a day where you just had the most chaotic day, or you're a bit fragile, do you want to receive that information? Sometimes you do, sometimes you do not. Sometimes you want space, sometimes you just want to have a picnic. Sometimes you're just like, what else do they have to say, right? But we have to be mindful that just because we are messengers, doesn't mean we just do whatever. And that's also comes with being a divine messenger for the other side, and having a relationship with ancestors and people who want to speak, right? Like, I have very strong boundaries with them, of like, no, you are not allowed to share that message. They already have told you and told me that they do not want to hear from you. So go do your healing work, and if they're open to it, they will receive the message. But please go back to doing whatever you need to do on the spiritual side. Ancestor, see you later. No, you cannot see me next week. Right? So just because we are a telephone doesn't mean we have to telephone everything. Um, Learn to ask first. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And to show the kids emotional intelligence as well. Yeah. Um, Everybody should be practicing their emotional intelligence, and need to be respecting children. Children are highly intelligent, but regardless of their intelligence, everybody deserves to be respected. And kids need the grace and the space to be able to live. They don't know the same regulation as you, they don't know social cues as much as you. And it's up to you to guide them into what is actually safe, or what is like conditioning that they don't necessarily need, and being mindful of that. And then, raising a child who is neurodivergent is completely different, because they have different needs. So we just need to stay mindful, right? And that's why we continue to do our healing and understanding impact, and slowing down and thinking before we say anything. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Does anybody else have a question or anything about health, or anything you're wanting to know? Um, who read the last chapter of The Mango Men and Other Manifestations? I don't have hangups with bodily functions. It's necessary. Now, digging in your nose and wiping it on somebody is different. Yeah, I don't highly recommend picking your boogers and wiping it on somebody. That's gross. That is gross. Even when a child does it, I do not agree. I don't think it's cool. So many times I've been around so many kids who are just like, yay, look. No, I am. We're going to get a tissue. We're going to not put your boogers on people. I know if you've done it to me, you've done it to like 15 others, and they probably didn't even know about it. Probably put it on their shirt or their pants. You know how sneaky kids are. They're like, oh, you're not looking. Like, I was at the pool recently
Mexico, like a different area of Mexico, and there's this little kid swimming around. She kept looking at me, and I was like, "You are trouble. I can sense it. You are so much trouble." And her mother like kept like bringing you over and like speaking to her in French, and I could understand what she was saying. And that kid was just like, like "F you, woman!" And it's like, "Ooh, you are trouble." And so I was sitting like straddling the two pools and talking to my friend, and then the little kid, like, I was like, "Oh, I don't hear any swimming." And I like kind of looked to my side, and she's like sneaking up behind me, and I'm like, this little I swear this kid, if they do anything. No, it was totally fine. But then they were like whistling, and I'm like, you think I don't see you there? Think I don't see you? Go ahead. So they just started like splashing all this water on me, and I just went whoosh like behind them. And they were like, ah, and then started laughing. And I was like, you came to play? Let's play. Let's go. You think you're sneaky? You're not sneaky, right? Just have fun. Kids are great. Kids are great. But just don't cross a kid that likes to wipe boogers on you. They're gross. They're definitely gross. No, but who has read the final chapter? Anybody? The Mango Men and Other Manifestations. I highly recommend you stream it. It's all about magic and mystery, manifestation, Loa, me being a child of Oshun, how I manifest, how love comes in, generational healing, toxicity, going through a divorce, and trauma to my body. So I wrote about my entire story, and it also tests your magic if you believe in magic. I will say, I think it was you, Shantae. I love seeing people's comments on there like, oh no, this didn't happen, or yes, this is true. And I'm like, oh, they're great. I love this. I was listening to the last one. The last one. Yeah. I also wanted to write it because I feel like everybody who's on their spiritual journey, some people don't know the capacity of their spiritual gifts. Like, I know the capacity and I'm still growing the capacity, but I got curious and I decided to just unleash them to see what my ancestral magic could do, could see what working with Oshun could do, or working with Nana Baruku, or like I was just like, I'm gonna unleash everything. And then the world turned upside down in the best way possible. And so I was like wiping my eyes, like, is this real? And so I decided to write about it so people could actually understand the world that they are missing out on when they don't tap into their ancestral magic. Um, I'm seeing, oops, I'm seeing shit and hearing shit. I need to slow down. Also, I love your name. Fuck with it. So I feel like it goes along with what you're experiencing. Have you been working with Papa Legba or your ancestors? What do you need to slow down on? What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. Um yeah, tell me what you're doing. Clairaudience is amazing. I love all my clairs now. It's so natural. And for folks in the Divine Academy or have been to Z School for the Gifted, we try and normalize it because it's a part of who we are. Um, and it's a powerful gift. And at first it scares you because you don't understand what's happening. And then you realize it's the most beautiful thing that you've ever been gifted to be able to see. And the reason why I also share that, and a part of my own story, is like when I lost my child, the most healing and powerful thing was being able to hear them and talk to them on the other side. Because it, even though I had ancestors that I was already connecting with, to understand that even being able to connect with a child that I had lost was powerful. And so I was like, I'm never going to question my gifts again, and the power of what mediumship can do for everybody, right? Like the amount of healing that I received, and the amount of like healing from my ancestors and guidance to help me heal my physical body after everything happened, and helping me break cycles. It was like because of my spiritual gifts, I am here today being able to talk about it. It's not done, so not speaking on it. Okay. Um, yes, protect
your magic or whatever your manifestation is. It's so great. It can really be comforting in hard times. Yeah, your gifts are amazing. Because when you're making those quantum jumps and you're making those leaps or you're making really big changes in your life, and then all of a sudden, your ancestors speak through someone, or Papa Legba comes, or Oshun gives you a blessing, or like, because there's been days I was just like down in the dump, like, how am I going to get this? Like, how am I going to do this? I'm houseless. Like, how am I, and then someone would deliver a message from them, right? And I always know it's someone strange by different signs. Um, and usually, if it's Oshun, they will literally just ask me about Oshun and then look me straight in the eye and kind of reach for my tattoo, which was a gift from Oshun, and deliver the message. And so it's like when you can live in that energy, it's like that you're not alone, and they speak through even the physical realm a lot, like a lot. So it's like our mind and our energy and our emotions will tell us that we are scared, but we're so watched over in the most miraculous ways. Um, I need to tap in. Yeah, definitely. I got so many signs to tap in with my ancestral light codes today. Did you do it? Did you do it yet? Yes, I felt like I was walking alone, but they definitely let me know that I'm well covered. Yeah, it can feel like that because sometimes we are physically alone, and you're like, am I just here making decisions? And then they're like, no, we're here too. Here they come, in the best possible ways. I was looking at this little quote. It was like between God and an angel, and it was quite interesting because it was like, oh, did you see, like, the angel was talking to God, like, oh, did you see how sad they are today? It's like, yes, I know, but they're so close to the breakthrough. And then they're like, is she getting any of the messages, or are they getting in any of the messages? Like, no, I sent them five, but maybe I'll send one that's like a little bit stronger. And so it's like all these conversations, that, even though it was quite humanized, and we know energy works a little bit differently, it still lends itself to the idea and the truth that we are not walking by ourselves. We are not moving this life by ourselves. And energy is always there for us, meaning our ancestors, and they are us and we are them. So it's quite impossible for them to not be here, even on a scientific level, right? When people are like, I don't believe, and it's like, that's perfectly okay. But on an energetic level, they exist. Yes, be walking around answering and giggling with them like y'all are actually hilarious. They are funny. They are funny. Like sometimes I feel so called out in the best way possible, and I love it. And some of my friends, um, they walk with, the spiritual realm, but some of them don't walk with their ancestors. Like they're not ready to do it yet. And they're like, Z, like, what are you? I'm just like, oh, nothing. My ancestors just dragging my ass about my clothes today. They're like, what? It's like, you don't really need to worry about it, but I need to go clean the floors. Apparently, I didn't do it well, right? So you just learn to be with him. My grandmother told me, I will guide you, but not doing it for you. Bless her heart. Yeah, they're here to help. They're not here to just do the work. Right? Like they are so loving, but we still need to move on our path. Yeah, facts. The ancestors are probably some of the funniest things, or like, you'll be thinking of something, or you'll be joking with yourself, and then someone else will say it. Like when I was, I had a moment, because we're being full transparency here, and everybody knows I'm also a sex affirming coach. So talking about sex and intimacy and love and manifestation, like it's just something that I do. And so I was making jokes in my head, and I have like a very vulgar way of joking. Um, and then someone on, like, they were like walking by, and someone was like, why don't you stop, like, I can't say it because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm probably gonna get banned. But it was like a very sexual joke that I had just said in my head, and it was like, focus, ho. Like it was like a very specific thing, and it was echoed back to me, and it had like this, like, just like felt like the ancestors so strong, because I had a moment of like, I bet the ancestors are like fucking like, when is she gonna get it together? And then it was like literally echoed right next to me, and I was like, all right, let me finish this chapter real quick. um I was under the impression that they had it together, but it's a team. They had it together. What do you mean? Yeah, there's all sorts of energies on the other side. And different ancestors come forward at different times, and they do different things. And some ancestors you will never, like, you don't always know where they came from. And you may not even think that they're your ancestor. They may not even present like that way, or you may not even know you have a lineage from there, but they will come just as strong, like once they find out that you are family, right? And sometimes it's a whole mob of them, and sometimes it's like a couple of them, depends on the transition. They sent me on a hunt for fried chicken and Sprite for 1 week, and I had no peace. Okay, when you get the ancestral cravings, which I've posted about before, it's probably the funniest shit I've ever experience. And same thing when you're working with deities or Loa, like you're like, when you have the gift of possession, right? Our physical body takes on their attributes. And it's the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. But it's like, they, oh my gosh, like, for, I agree with you, because for 1 week I was dressing like my grandma. I was like eating cherries. I was like doing pin curls. I was putting on lipstick. I was like dressing differently, putting on these little kitten heels. I was making like black eyed peas and all this stuff. And my mom's like, you look like your grandmother. And I was like, damn it. It's like, let me go. Let me go talk to them. Yeah, they will literally just like sneak their little asses and then be like, la 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 la. It's like, why? Why are you here? But I think it's so funny because you get to connect with him in a different way. Like, I know my grandpa's always around when my jokes get really bad, super bad. They run amok. Yeah, they literally run amok sometimes. And when you're around certain family and things like that, they get even more rowdy, or they just like knock 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 all the time, and I'll just be sitting there like, hey mom, Aunt Pro said hi, hey uncle blah 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 said this. Also, grandma's mad that she doesn't have her photo up. BTW, she knows that you locked this in the closet. Why is it collecting? Like, I just become like, I'm gonna rat you out. Like a telephone. And my sister's like, is that why that shit's been falling off the whole time? I'm like, grandma already told you how many times. Now I'm telling you, are you gonna put it on the altar? Right? It's like, you just connect with them so deeply. And I'm like, also, who is this man and why are they fabulous? And like, oh, they used to dance and like did like musicals. And I'm like, da da da. You just enjoy it. Like, once you lean in, the possibilities of like communing with your ancestors. Hold on, I need to fix this. Oops. Don't kick me off. Don't kick me off. Becomes so much more fun. Does anybody else commune with them like that? Like, is it strong? Everybody is different. I had got a personal message, and afterwards it was 9:35 and the phone dropped and your live was on the screen when I picked it up. See, perfect. See, they just come in and they're like, hey, 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 hey. Yeah, message for sure. LOL, I heard a message from don't be a menace. Oh, that's so great. I love this. But working with the ancestors is literally my favorite. Like, and I'm glad that all of you have been open. I want more and more people to be open to working with their ancestors. If you're at the beginning and you don't know how to do it, go check out my YouTube channel, The Fairy Medicine Woman. I'm on live with it right now. TikTok people, obviously you can't see me. There's a whole playlist that says Ancestor Work 101, and it's also my link tree. And they are so loving and well-meaning, even if you have to tell them to chill for a bit. Yeah, they love you so unconditionally. Like, when people are scared of their ancestors, it literally breaks my heart, because when I am channeling and doing sessions, like, they have no idea. Like, even though I can try to express it, which usually happens, like if someone's ancestor is very strong and I can connect with them, like, I'm sitting there bawling, crying, because all they want to do is like help you, and they feel bad. Like they don't feel like joy when they see you in pain, like going through your ancestral journey and trying to heal and breaking cycles. All they want to do is wrap you up like a small child and like give you the love that you deserve, but they can't do that. And so they're going through and guiding you and loving you and making sure that you can get to the happily ever after that you are calling in for yourself. And so they feel bad. Like they don't want you to feel pain. Like I love that you mentioned that, Shantae. How did you get ready to meet them? Was it scary? It In the beginning, the journey was scary, but it started when I was little. So, and then I kind of locked my gifts away for a long time because I was traumatized physically a lot, like a lot, a lot. Um, and so I didn't allow myself to feel into the spiritual realm. Plus, I was gaslit my entire life. So then I just decided to pretend like it wasn't real, even though I knew it was real. um Preparing to meet them, um that was a little bit different because it I didn't prepare to meet them. It They actually okay, so how it happened is I ended up like sensing that a new path for me was opening up somewhere, and I didn't know why. And I was married at the time, and I ended up like we ended up going through a divorce, and it was after I lost my child. And I was like, clearly I'm not supposed to be here. My heart is broken. This doesn't feel right. Like it felt like the end of something. And so we decided to go our separate ways, and I started to feel like there was an energy, but I couldn't put my name to it or a name to it. And then I started to like get this overwhelming feeling and hearing things speak it into existence. And I didn't know it was my ancestors. And so anything I spoke came true. So when I wanted to move after my divorce, I was like, I want this type of spot. Next day I found it, right? It was like, okay, then I wanted this type of money. And I was like, I'm not accepting anything less. And then I got that amount of money. And so then I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, why can I hear this so strongly? And why does it happen so quickly? Um, and so then a friend was like, you need to go to this apothecary. So then I was like, what the fuck is an apothecary? Right? It was like all these things. And so like I was just slowly guided. And then I ended up meeting them, but they didn't teach me about my ancestors. And then I decided they were teaching me like moon type things. And so then I ended up like having one night just a lot of visions. Like it was like overwhelming. Spirits were running amok. It was like everything came back at once. And then I decided to be a little bruja, and which was also, I feel like, from my ancestors. And I bought a whole thing of candles and all these herbs. And I made this huge, like, a huge circle in my house with candles because I also felt very called to the elements. And so then I like tied myself in all these different clothing. Like it was definitely not me. It was not me. Tied myself in all these different clothings, and I listened to this music. I think it was maybe like Arabic music or something. And I just started dancing and allowing the visions to just like swarm around me. And I was closing my eyes, and I just was like allowing my body to move however I wanted. And then I heard the word ancestors, and then I put my hands to the ground, and I just said, I think I had said, I don't recommend anybody do this because what happened next was quite bananas. I put my hands to the ground and I just called on all of the ancestors, every single one of my ancestors, and I asked them to be with me. And I should have been more specific. And all of a sudden it was like this like rush of energy. And then I like came to and then was like, what just happened? And I looked around, and my apartment was hot. I was sweaty. It was like, what the fuck is happening? And so then I blew out all my candles, like put them away. And I was like, no one should be tinkering with magic like this. But then I was so excited. But then I woke up the next day super sick, super, super sick. And I had venerated my ancestors, and they all kind of gathered in my belly. And so I was sick for a long, long time, and was just having visions, talking with them, passing out, like doing all these things. And I was like, I didn't even know I could do that. And then eventually I was led to seeing someone who actually did Reiki. We have a very strong soul tie, and she recognized the ancestors before I even said anything. And she was like, she was like, I've never seen this many people attached to someone's belly. And I was like, it's a long story. And so there wasn't, for me, a lot of preparation. It was just, I knew that I could feel it. And I jumped off the deep end into it, which is why I teach people how to do it now, because I was very risky with how I did it, but I didn't have a teacher, and they were also specific about me only going to certain people for certain things because they had so much control of what I could do, and I'm supposed to be a spiritual teacher, and so I needed to learn a different way. And so they were like, again, and like pass me out and then teach me things. Then I would come back. I'm like, stop fucking doing that. Like this is scary. And so eventually it got less scary. As I was learning how to communicate with them and control, because when I was having ancestors in my body, I could feel their entire story. And so having thousands of ancestors, whether they were happy or sad, they had died, they had drowned, like it was crippling, like literally crippling. And so that's when I learned how to venerate them one by one, so I could clear them out and be like, I can't take this anymore. Show me your story. Because I can feel you and you're coming through, and I can't leave the house because I can, like, they were too scared to leave the house and they were hiding, and I was hiding, and it was keeping me from like living my day. And I was like, why am I would be like up against a wall, like I can't leave. And I'm like, this is like driving me bananas. And so I kept going into the spiritual realm, and I kept going into the spiritual realm. And then Papa Legba showed up, and then Papa Legba taught me things. And then I would do a lot of water work and venerate them and speak to them. And that's how I was learning my gifts, just on my own. And they were teaching me. And so as I helped heal them and shared their stories, they would leave. And then I created the boundaries, because I was like, yo, who's paying the rent? I was like, human duties. Does anybody know where the rent money is? Right. So it was a lot, but it was worth it. How did you get to this state? Do you mean like my spiritual gifts? Like I just kind of jumped in, honestly, but it was always there. And when I was little, which I've shared with some people, I was marked. So the whole ceremony from the Lion King is like a very similar ceremony that they actually do in Africa. And so when I was born, my parents had a whole naming ceremony from spiritual people who came over from Africa to do a ceremony on me. And I thought, when my family told me, they were like, oh, they just named you Ngozio. I think it's like Okachi or something. I can never say it right. A gift from God, but they also marked me, which my mom didn't tell me about until way later as an adult. She's like, oh, yeah, you're marked so the ancestors can always find you. And I was like, come again? So that path for me was from when I was really, really little. But what the mark did was call in all the ancestors. So even if like people from Africa did it, it means the entire lineage, along with everybody else's lineage. Anybody who comes to me, I can speak to them because I have a different marking in the spiritual realm. And so it was given to me as a way to help people. I know the protection. When I would be abused, I wouldn't feel the physical pain. Yeah, sometimes, um, yeah, spiritual, psychological. Yeah, the mind will do that. Z said, you get a car, you get a car. Literally. Like when I was manifesting, I was like, how does this work? And it still works the same way. That's why I teach everybody to be very careful about what you say. Do not be negative. Do not like speak poorly, because it will manifest all the time, all the time. And when you're so close to the veil and you can flow in and out, it's like, you can create most things. You still have to go through the journey of healing and, your ego and trauma, but like most things, it's totally fine. Interesting. You definitely know your stuff. Yeah. I mean, I've been through hell and high water. almost died many times, which I learned was on purpose. But I share as much as I have experienced. That's why I love teaching this, and I understand the value of what has come of it and what I learned, and how I was also able to bring myself out of poverty and houselessness, and what the ancestors can do, and what spirit can do, and what God can do, and how to come out of an oppressive system that teaches you to suppress everything, and piecing it together for myself and realizing, because many people like will assume they only have one lineage of ancestors. And in the beginning, I wasn't sure who was there because I could hear different things, and I started to call on my tools, which you can do. And so different spiritual tools would come and find me, and I realized, I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of you over there, right? And so then I was like, okay, well, what else should I call on? Like, does anybody need help? And that's how I got the stuff from Tibet. I got the stuff from Mexico. I got the stuff from Dubai. I got the wand from Egypt. Like, all of these things just started to show up. And then they were like, now you need to learn how to belly dance. Now you need to go to Mexico. Now you need to do this. And then it's like, now you need to meet with these people who are all Nigerian in this church, and then it's just like you go on this whole journey, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? But you just have fun, you know. I have been working on these things on my own. Looking forward to watching your YouTube. Yeah, definitely come say hi. And everyone, again, I'm having a 3-day workshop for like mental health and manifesting. It's called 3-day Kick the Shit Challenge. You can sign up. It starts tomorrow. The link is going to be on my link tree. Same with YouTube and in the description. And if you really want to work on your gifts, I highly recommend you join the Divine Academy. I now have a portal with recordings, and I teach weekly, so you can get all of this help, and I can like channel one. Anybody who's in my space, which many of you are here, you know how I coach and how I work. Like, when I'm across from you, I can also feel more of your energy, and know what you are working with. I can see it. I can sense it. I know what you should not be doing. And like, I'll know if you lie. I'll know. My last name means gift from God and the land of Germany. Wow, tell me more. What's your last name? I just met someone from Germany, and my friend's going to Germany. How lovely. Yes, just like that. I love my spiritual team. Yeah, aren't they so cool? My family thinks I'm making it up when I pass messages to them. Yeah, you know what? Like, my what was ironic was that, so one of my grandmothers and things were heavily into like, they were on the reservation, did a lot of indigenous things, but the way they practiced was very different than how people practice today. And even though my mother was raised around it, and my father, because he also has very close ties to New Orleans and indigenous things and all the stuff all over the world, since both families were nomadic, they were probably the ones who questioned me the most. Like, I remember one time my mom giving me something that was a spiritual thing and then gaslighting me about it 2 seconds later. I love her to death. She knows this, but I was like, that is the most confusing shit I think I've ever heard. And I was like, now I'm really going to put the azurite on my third eye and drop into the spiritual realm. She was like, don't do that. And I was like, why? Because you believe in it? Right? Like, I was always like, you're the one who taught me to read auras. So, and there's a video, if you watch the intro video on my YouTube, I have this thing with Snickers, because I also work with Santa Muerte, who's around all the time. And I would give her lots of Snickers. I work with the bony version of Santa Muerte. And one day I got this bag of Snickers because they have the letters on them. And then it, like, all of a sudden just ripped and went everywhere. And then 4 pieces fell on my desk, and it said seer. So I took a picture of it and I posted it to my Instagram. And I was like, hey, mom, like, because I was staying with her. I was like, look what just happened. There's Snickers everywhere. And she goes, ew, and walks out. I was like, I knew you believed. I knew it. It's like, whatever. It's all good. It's just weird, but it's fun. Um, I'm working on me. Beautiful. Yeah, you should work on you. Everybody always work on you. Dorch. Dorch? Is it Dorch? Ah, cool. I love learning about names. I go by ZB Savage. My government name is Alicia Eisler. Z is short for Ngozi. B Savage is my music name. It's Bougie Savage. So I put them together because I like it better. I was called crazy. That really set me back. Like, what? Yeah, being called crazy. It's not it's not nice at all. And people will do that when they don't understand. That's why doing your generational healing is so important. Hi, Kiki. So that you know that you're not. Are you still in Mexico? I am in Mexico. If anybody's in Mexico and you need healing, are you in Mexico? Let me know. I've been doing it in person. So if anybody needs an in person, I travel around the world, happy to help. Whatever you need. Obviously, I will vet you because safety is important. When like leaving Mexico? When am I leaving Mexico? I never tell anybody my future plans. I never tell anybody my future plans. Never. Oh, I can't see. It looks like oh, what part of Mexico? I'm in the Yucatan. I'm in the Yucatan. Like floating between uh ah that's funny because when I read that, it looks like French. I was like, what? Ah, Chihuahua. Oh, fun. Are you in Mexico right now? Um, Hi, everybody. If you're just tuning in, I'm excited to see everybody tomorrow for the workshop. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be teaching. How goes it, Kiki? How's your energy? No, I live in the States currently, unfortunately. Ah, okay. Where in the States? I saw where some people are from. You're all like all over. Is anybody outside of the States, like international? Utah. Ah. Do you like Utah? Utah's a very interesting energy. A lot of ancestral things there and indigenous, very strong presence. I can always sense it sometimes. It's always sense it sometimes. Ain't that the most contradicting statement? I can sense it sometimes. But Masta is great. Ah, okay. That's how you feel. You mean? How's it? How are you doing, everybody on YouTube? My energy is chaotic. That's kind of the vibe. Maybe you need to release some flatulence. Very fiery. LOL. I'm late to the tat. Who needs a tattoo? I do channel tattoo designs. I'm late to the chat. Did I miss the energy check-in? Yeah, I did it in the beginning, so you're welcome to watch it. Highly recommend you tune in. But take care of yourself. How are you managing your energy right now and your mental health, Kiki? Yes, my opinion, allegedly. Ah, okay. The states have been chaotic AF, very chaotic. My soul could not handle it. My energy, like, the ancestors were like, swoop. Because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna explode. And then the minute I left and came to Mexico, it was like, oh my gosh, I can actually breathe. Like I feel so much better. And then also it was just like spirit central and getting to know the ancestors here. Like it's been fun. Also learning Spanish. My sisters are fluent. I'm not. So sometimes when I message them, they're like, so is my best friend from home. They're like, should we speak to you in Spanish? And I was like, doesn't mean I'll be able to respond, but I'll try. I've been self isolated for 6 months. Are you coming out of hermit mode? Are you ready to come out of hermit mode? It's time to come out of hermit mode. It's spring. Everybody needs to be out of hermit mode. As usual, this has been amazing. I'm going to go finish reading The Mango Men. Ooh, yay. I hope you enjoy it. Do tell me what you think of the last chapter. I'm so excited. Happy to help, Shantae. Yeah, Tony, go ahead. Ask your question. I am a Cancer. It's always hermit mode for me. That's so true. Although I will say one of my best friends is a Cancer, and she's like the opposite of hermit. She's the opposite. She has been awarded, I've given her the badge of like my best distraction. Like she loves doing her things, but she is not a normal Cancer. She's always like, see, come outside. And I'm like, why are you like this? Like, I'm working. And she's like, it's time to stop working. You're a distraction. Come be with distractions. What led you to live in CDMX? Just curious. My ancestors. So I didn't plan to live here. It wasn't like, oh, let me just make a plan, figure out where I'm going to go. It was not like that at all. Like when my ancestors speak or when spirit speaks, it's done and there's no stopping it. And I just go along with it. And I knew I was moving and it was very clear because spirit had told me that. And so I protected it for a very long time. Like I didn't tell my family anything and I just prayed because I also had 2 huskies. And I needed to protect a manifestation and I didn't know where to go. I was like, I don't know where you want me to go. I can't see it. Like sometimes they'll take away my seeing gift if I'm going to sabotage it, or it doesn't come through as clearly as everything else. And sometimes it's to protect you. And so then I started to get a lot of things about Mexico. Like, actually, it was maybe like a few weeks to a month before they had me move here. And it came quite suddenly. Like, my friends just started talking about Mexico, and then they're like, Z, have you gone to Mexico? We think you need to go there. And I was like, go where? And they're like, actually, we just met this person. Her name is Alicia and she's in this city. You need to talk to her. And I was like, go to that city? And so it was like a clear yes. And then that day I needed to go get something from like a music store. And I went to the music store and I walk in and the guy sees my tattoo and he was like, have you been to this city in Mexico? And it was the same city. And I was like, huh? Like it just was like boom, boom. Everywhere I went, they made sure that I wasn't missing the message. And I was like, well, I do like Mexico. It's part of my lineage. So I guess that's where I'm going. And then and my friends were like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I was like, no, like anytime spirit or my ancestors have had me move, it's always in junction with someone to help me or like it's fully guided. So I wait, even if it's at the 11th hour, I wait until they tell me go. And then I happened to go live. Some of you were there. And I was like, I need to find someone to help me, basically. Like I could feel the energy, but I don't seek it. And then someone on the live was like, oh, I'm in this city in Mexico. And I was like, oh, can I talk to you? And then it was just like all the pieces started to line up. And then I just went. So it was very like they told me, and that was it. And I just followed the signs as best as I could and just trusted that everything was was going to work out, and then it did. And my life has always been like that. And even when I traveled around in the States, I didn't know where I was going to go next. Sometimes even that day I wouldn't have anything booked, and they would be like I was in Vegas and I was sitting and I was just kind of by the pool with a friend, and I was like, where do I need to go? And then this person walks by and they're like, have you ever gone to Washington? Have you, I can tell you where to stay. And I was like, thank you. And I just like get up and left. And then I ended up covering the march for Palestina and then all those things. And then I got shadow banned on Instagram, the whole thing. But it was a part of the path and all this stuff. So it was very like, yeah, I didn't plan anything. It was a gift. An empath and a Cancer. I'm drained. Yeah, you need to maybe meet my other friend who's a Cancer. She's the same way, but I don't know. She's just really good at nourishing herself. So she does not stay in hermit mode. She's very of service. Like she's open in a different way. Every Cancer is different. It's different energy across the border. I feel like I can breathe when I go. Yeah, the States can be a little suffocating sometimes. Are there a lot of Black people there? I plan on going. It looks so beautiful. In Mexico in general. Um, yeah, I mean, it depends on where you go. Um, depends on where you go. Where I live, it's a mix. Uh, it's a mix. There's definitely a big population of Black people here, and we all know each other, and it's very supportive. Either way, it's like um, like the way I always travel. Like I didn't plan to look for a big community of Black people. I just kind of stumbled into it. Um, because it wasn't a part of their request that they wanted me to do. Um, and I do believe in having a community of Black people, but I also believe in getting to know the locals a lot more. And that's what I was coming here for. And so I personally decided that while yes, I was spending time with those people, they were not why I was here. Um, and so I wanted to be amongst other people from my lineage as well. So I kind of float between both groups. So I can like get to know everybody, right? And I do know a lot of the travelers, and we all are highly connected. But it's a mix depending on where you go. And there's a lot of Black people who are leaving the US because it's not really safe, anyways. So you'll start to see them popping up. A lot of ancestors are guiding them all over the world. And we're all kind of talking about it. And I have a friend actually who's doing a whole documentary on the like expedition that people are taking out of the US and where we're going. Um, I'm the opposite. I empty my cup to fill others. Ah, okay, I see. I'm currently brushing up my Spanish skills. Yeah, it's great. I love um, Mexico a lot. I always have. It's very near and dear to my heart. I will always forever fight with them, and my Mexican ancestors are very strong. Yes, America is a melting pot, and it's melted. That's funny. Um, Channel tattoo designs, you say? Yeah, I do channel tattoo designs. Anyone's welcome to book one. So basically, because I am a medium and tattooing is like a part of who we are, I will tap into your energy and I can help tattoo something over energy portals or things that you need to carry with you on your journey. um, and certain ancestors come through, and sometimes it's creatures and sometimes it's like elements that need to be on your body to like some people have very strong back portals or very strong heart portals. Like this tattoo was one of my first spiritual tattoos, and before I knew who this was, my Mexican ancestors were like, you need to get this on your chest immediately, because I kept almost dying of lung infections, which then I found out was because of like being like their lineage being tied to Tenochtitlan. And so me being a medium And so they helped basically bring me here. But so I can tap into your energy, and also sometimes deities or loas and things come through, and I meet with you and I talk to you, and I read your energy and see where you may need a tattoo, and then we can decide on the size, and it varies. So I do tattoos, and you can check it on my link tree as well. Um, Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that. Um, I'm excited for tomorrow. Hopefully, I get there on time. Yeah, I'll be recording it too, and it'll be in the portal. You'll have access to it. No, I just moved to Illinois. However, I'm ready to leave here. Are you also wanting to come to Mexico? Doing fine because I finally ate dinner. I feel like Jamila, you're always eating. Um, Sounds awesome. Yeah, the tattoo. I love doing the designs, and I know a lot about tattooing as well. My one of my good friends is also a tattoo artist, and I learned a lot about my own journey too, and like colors and things like that. So I'll also give you some guidance on what to look for if you're new to tattoos, and artists who you can go to that are safe. Like if you're like, that's my first tattoo and I don't, and I will tell you, especially if you're a person of color, tattoos show on our skin very differently, and so it's important to find a good tattoo artist. The gaslighting be real. They be knowing damn well they put you on, then pretend it doesn't exist. Yeah, the family comment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I always just joke with my family. Now they say nothing because, like, I've been so successful in my career for so long now that they have no reason but to believe it. So, and they've seen it now. So it's like I don't really have to say anything. And even if they try to question, it's like, do you really think I care? I don't care. Also, grandmother said stop doing this. I'm gonna read you anyways. Bring it. um, exactly how I got to Arizona. I went to Arizona. I love Arizona. Do you love Arizona? Do you like it there? Are you asking Jamila what she made? I'm good, feeling good, peaceful vibes. I'm forcing myself out of hermit mode. Good, Mercury retrograde is done. I feel aligned again. Yeah, come out of hermit mode. Everybody needs to come out of hermit mode. Lobster and ravioli and spinach. What? Come over, give me some food. Yes, so interested. Tattoos have always been my thing, and I've been wanting a new one. Yay! Literally been looking for someone to do a channel tattoo. I am here. See, everything happens for a reason. um, the link is also going to be in my link tree, but I'll just grab it really quickly so that you have it. How about this? Um, I will drop the Kick the Shit challenge link, and I'll also drop the tattoo. So that is the challenge. And then I will drop the tattoo link so everybody has it. I love doing them. It takes a couple days depending on the size, sometimes longer. And then if you need like a really big piece, it takes a bit of time. And then there is the option as well to have it in color if you want, because I do like watercolor. So basically the way I design them is, it's going to be in black and white, and I usually do it in charcoal, and then because I love natural elements for channeling, and then I make it into something digital so that you could take it to the tattoo artist. And I try to use colors that will show up a little bit better if you're wanting color, but the piece itself can be kept as a piece of art, um, and made for you, obviously, so you can do whatever you want with it because it's for you. Love it here. This has been the most intense start to the new season of my life. And yes, it doesn't sign up for the challenge. Yay! I can't wait to see you all tomorrow. I'm excited. So now you have the tattoo link as well. Um, um, da, 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 da. Um, okay, so do you practice ATR in terms of like veneration in that sense? In communing? Make sure I understand correctly. Cats have come to me lately. Oh, I love cats. Cats are great. These amazing spiritual creatures. It's in our nature to question the unknown, so I give them grace. Yeah. Yeah. People just will do it, you know? Like, there's no point in living a life where you're so triggered by what people say. It's really not advantageous. It's exhausting, and who cares? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, I don't care. I mean, I'm also a teacher, but I don't care. I would rather care about something else, like raising money for the Congo or helping my clients or figuring out how I'm going to fit time in to go live. Um, what donations I should like. There's so many other things that I I could care. There's like a world of things, or how I can get better at my spiritual practices, how I can be more visible, make more content, like. And when it comes to people just gaslighting or doing things, it's like, I don't really care. I don't care. And even with comments, like growing my business in the beginning, it was like, ooh, that comment sucks. And now I'm like, meh, meh. It is what it is. I don't care if you tell me if I'm doing it wrong. It really does not phase me anymore. Are you recording the sessions? Yes, I am recording them for those who sign up. So sign up before the cutoff. I think it cuts off like an hour or two before the class starts. Um, yeah. So sign up, and then once the recordings are up at the end of the challenge, or I might send it after the first day, I'll give everybody access to Podia. So if you were in Magical Morning Routines for the 5-day Ascend to Happiness challenge, it will be in the same place. So I'm going to upload it, make a little portal for it. And so now when you log into Podia, you can see both of them. So you'll be able to access Magical Morning Routines and the 3-day Kick the Shit challenge. Um, where can, oh wait, yes, well, in any way. Yeah, so I am big on working with ancestors and venerating, and like I see them as like our family, and ensuring that people have that communication with them. It's important for everybody on this journey doing your generational healing. So I have learned a lot about ancestors, and so I help people do the same. And so I don't fully believe that people should be without their ancestors in general. So it's one of the things I teach a lot on. And on my channel, there is a playlist that says Ancestor Work 101. So it's a great place to start if you want to do ancestor work. So yeah, it is a huge part of my practice. It's what I do, and I love it, and I like wouldn't trade it for the world. Where can we find the link? Yeah, happy to help. The link is going to be on my profile. So for folks on TikTok, if you go to my profile and click the link that's showing, the very first button is going to be the Kick the Shit challenge for tomorrow, the 24th, the 25th, and 26th. And then if you scroll further down, you're going to see everything. So there's a link to apply for my one-to-one mentorship program if you want to do one-to-one mentorship with me and do generational healing and manifestation. Like, it's a full life transformation. Or you can join the Divine Academy, which is a subscription. It's month to month. And then you can also do the channel tattoo designs. I have lots of free resources in there. I make music. I have my audio book, The Mango Men and Other Manifestations, which is all about manifestation and love and journey. And I talk about my divorce. I also have 2 podcasts. One is I'm going to talk about it. It's all about generational healing. So if you're wanting to get started on your generational healing and have lots of breakthroughs, listen to that. And the other one is with my friend. She's in the neuro affirming space. A lot of her clients are spiritual. And so we teamed up together. We did a TV show together on The Block, season 16. And so we are combining forces to bring spirituality and awareness, and also activism to the work that we do. So it's called Black Girl Magic meets White Girl Questions. And so if you're new to spirituality or just want to tune in to something really funny, she's hilarious. I'm hilarious, and I love her questions. And she's an amazing activist in that space. And I have lots of articles and poetry. I wrote about my beginning journey in the Empowered Feminitiation. That's my book. It's also on Audible. So I have a lot of resources, and I've been doing this work for a very long time. So whatever you're looking for, you will likely find it. You will likely find it. There's probably not anything I'm missing, and I have more stuff on the way with the time that I try to have. I'm always here to help, and I do single sessions, group sessions, tarot readings, candle workings. I'm literally the jack of all trades, so I help as much as I can. Um, yeah, roll out. Y'all are funny. Um, y'all are funny. So I appreciate you asking. So you can find all that in the link as well. So an insight timer. I have free meditations on insight timer. Um, you can listen to those. Golden light healing is great to listen to every day in the rising. I tried to create a business that was going to be all encompassing for people and their spiritual gifts and their journey and generational healing. And what I've also learned as a teacher is that generational healing is not linear. Um, and I never believed in having a linear business either as a creative. And so I also tried to remember all the things that I went through on my spiritual journey and where I truly needed help. I needed help meditating. I needed to know other people's stories. I wanted space, right? Because sometimes when you're going through a spiritual awakening, maybe you don't want to talk to a teacher right now. And so to have the resources that I've built that you can learn on your own without having to be in the space, right? It's all about different types of safety, but because I am neurodivergent and I work with a lot of people who are neurodivergent, I understand that people have different um, like learning needs and accessibility needs. And it's why I have Substack as well. So if you're not able to have access to hearing, you can also read things. So my business is very intentional. So I just invite you to go poke around and see what works for you, get curious. And for folks who are joining the workshop for the next 3 days, I am going to give you access to the House of Bougie Savage on Discord. It's a tight community in there. We are like family. I had a bigger group chat, but I just wasn't loving the vibe of it, just energetically. So we keep it intimate and close and loving. So if you're looking for a community, you will also find that there. Um, and yeah, does anybody else have any other questions? Hopefully that clears up any resources that you might be needing, or if you are like, hey Z, do you ever do this? It might be a good idea, and I'm happy to share. That's so real of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to operate with integrity also as an activist. Um, and so, thank goodness to the Most High for also allowing me the ability to channel in the way that I do and be a creative in the way that I do. And so I work with people who are also creative in the same way. So if you're like, I have so many skills, I can help you. Thank you. I look forward to learning more. Absolutely. Any last questions? I realized what time it was. I still have so much work to do and I don't want to be up too late, but I'm glad I was able to come live. I might go live tomorrow um, afternoon if I have time before the workshop, or I might add in some extra rest. We'll see how the day goes. Tomorrow, I have an article dropping on Substack. I try to drop once a week, and they usually drop on Tuesdays now. So if you're needing extra guidance, it's called Adventures of a Single Tugillennial. Sometimes it's about love and growth and empowerment, and also activism. Sometimes I get a little rowdy on there. So do subscribe. It's a relatively new page. Um, and yeah, if anybody feels like donating, you're welcome to do that too. I never asked for that and I never remember. Someone reminded me. I do have links for that too if anybody wants to help out. Yeah, of course. I'm happy. I'm happy to help. Um, I am going to sign off, my dear friends, so I can get back to doing some work. And I will be seeing whoever is going to be at the challenge tomorrow. I can't wait to meet you all. And remember, like, I'm big on interaction, so it's not going to be just a webinar. I would love to see you there speaking and engaging. I'm going to be asking questions. I want to help you in a very intimate way. And that's just my style of teaching. And I do a lot of inverted classroom type of things to help people learn in that aspect. So I don't believe in having too much distance. Like, obviously, I'm doing this, but it's just the setting for now. So if you want something more intimate where we can actually talk and I can meet you, I definitely recommend that you join. Um, so yeah, good night, everybody. I'm going to sign off. I loved meeting all of you. I'm going to be going live more as much as I can to help everyone through these energetic shifts. And I'm wishing you lots of restful sleep, and I will talk to you later. Good night, everyone. I'm going to say bye to TikTok first. I don't have a button that ends everything at once. That would be great. Actually, there was a platform, but I got rid of it. Good night, everybody. See you later.